Sadistic Penguin Studios presents the At the Show podcast with Tom Yumper Garcia.
Okay, you people sit tight, hold the fort, and keep the home fires burning. If we're not back by dawn, call the president.
And Tony Chalsa Burt.
I don't know this industry jargon, YP, MP, whatever, okay? All I know is that I cannot get a record contract. We cannot get a record contract unless I take these tapes.
It's almost time, so grab a drink, get your popcorn ready, and join the film discussion with two guys from Chicago talking movies.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the At the Show podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Tom Yumper Garcia, and I'm with my other co-host, Tony the Sugar Baggy Burt. How you doing, my man?
Doing good this Friday night. How are you, my man?
I am very, very good. I'm happy to talk some movies tonight to lead into a nice, relaxing weekend.
Yes, I am also very excited. Could be some laughs. Definitely.
So as you can tell, we are going to be talking about comedy movies tonight. Your eyes look beautiful. Well, Sam, I use the NVIDIA broadcast, so they're not naturally, but thank you. Tonight we'll be talking about some comedy movies that some we might have talked about, some we haven't. So this is all due to the fact that the Naked Gun remake is coming out. I guess it's a reboot?
Yeah, it came out today. Yes, the reboot.
With Liam Neeson.
Kind of sequel. We'll get into it here in a second here. It's one of my movies, so we'll get into it here in a second. I saw it.
You saw it?
Yes.
What? All right. But we got an action-packed show for you guys today. We're going to talk 10 movies, 5 and 5. We got the back of the VHS Box segment. We got what we've been watching, the Sugar Baggies soundtrack pick of the week. I also have some Marvel stuff I want to go over with you to see if you looked into it. There was a release of some Marvel rankings of films.
Oh.
That I believe was released by Variety. But we'll get into it. But Tone, let's just get right into our first segment of what we've been watching, my friend.
Let's do it.
That's a me. And also, what were you just watching?
So what were you watching this week, my man?
All right. As I just stated a little while ago, I saw the new Naked Gun movie, which came out today. There were some previews yesterday. And that's one of the reasons came up with today's idea of the show was that they were releasing this movie today. So I said, well, I probably should go see it because we are doing a show somewhat like it. So I went and seen it and I had a blast. I'm really enjoying going to the movies. It's been fun. It's been an escape that I haven't had in a long time. Now I'm going a little bit more frequently. It's feeling pretty good. The movie was only about an hour and 25 minutes long. So a quick, which I watched part 2 last night with Leslie Nielsen, and that was about the same length. So they're all right around about that, which I think is a perfect length for these type of comedies. Liam Neeson. You never really think about it, but Leslie Nielsen and Liam Neeson, their names are kind of similar. Liam Neeson does a great job in this, and so does Pamela Anderson. And there's some really great cameos in the movie too. Cody Rhodes does a really good job in it. Some other ones I don't want to spoil, but really classic, really funny. Fits in with just the rest of them. And why I said it's a sequel is because he plays Leslie Nielsen's son. So it would be like a sequel. He plays Frank Drebin Jr. And there's like some real nice honoring to Leslie Nielsen in the movie. So, I would call it more like a sequel extension from the original series. I think, just the whole entire thing of them bringing this back was a really good idea because, when you think about it, the spoof comedy has kind of it's kind of gone away when you really think about it. And what's also kind of ironic is that I didn't really put together until after watching it. But recently we had on Hans on the show to talk about the Popstar soundtrack. And this is the same director who directed Popstar, the guy from The Lonely Island. His name is Akiva Schaffer, and he does a really good job directing this movie. Honestly, the spoof, I think, could be making a return. Hopefully this movie does good at the box office.
Well, they sure got your money, my man. So I'm happy you enjoyed it. I know you were looking forward to this one. This is probably one I'll probably see probably later. I have some other movies I want to see, but I definitely am interested in it.
Cool. And then I also saw Final Destination Bloodlines. That's also released today on HBO Max. I thought it was probably the best horror movie I've seen all year long. It was really awesome. I'm a really big fan of this series. They really bring it in a lot of different ways, and especially in the kills department, which you're always interested in if you like the Final Destination series. Tony Todd makes an appearance. Honestly, I would say it's the best of the series, in my opinion. I think the story was really, really good and conducive to them bringing it back as like a kind of like a sequel, I would say, again, is this one. And it's another one that I would definitely suggest.
It's better than the first one?
After watching the first one, yeah, I think so. I mean, it's got a higher rating, made more money. Not to say that those are
but no, that's kind of surprising. I haven't seen or I haven't actually read any reviews on it. Usually my brother's actually my measuring stick.
Well, then I don't know where you've been, because honestly, all the people who are in a horror movie says it's the horror movie of the year. So
yeah, I haven't read any reviews on it. I haven't read any reviews on it. And I don't like I don't agree all the time with the horror movies of the year. But my brother's a measuring stick on this series, and like the horror films. Even though sometimes we do clash with our reviews on them.
But see it first, and then you can make those kind of assumptions.
Yeah.
Generally.
But I am looking forward to that one too. It's another one I want to see. They got some good movies coming out this summer. So
well, summer's almost over. So
summer's not over till next month. Don't ruin summer for me, Tony. It's not over till next month.
Gotta get out of the house, man. Gotta see some movies.
I've been getting out of the house. I went to the city this week for work. It was brutal. I, on the other hand, did see a movie I got out of the house for. I went to go see Fantastic Four with my wife and son. My son was really, really looking forward to seeing this movie. I did read reviews for this when I heard mixed reviews. I would say it was enjoyable. It wasn't the best Marvel movie I've seen. It wasn't the worst. I did love the fact that it was a redeeming factor of the Fantastic Four series since the last one, which was really, really bad. I do like the person they played to play the Thing in this film. He's from The Bear. The series of Bear. I thought he did a very, very good job. Pedro Pascal did a good job. I liked Vanessa Kirby as Wonder Woman, and also the guy from Stranger Things as the Johnny Storm character. Although it was I prefer, I guess, the Chris Evans one because I think he's a little more flamboyant. But I did like the fact it wasn't a retelling kind of story. They didn't have to go through them going up to the ship and getting their powers. It was more like what they were doing afterwards. And then we had one of the appearances of Galactus, which is a Marvel villain that people have talked about and wanted to see in movies for a while. It looks like it's starting off on the right foot in the new Marvel series, and ended with a good little teaser at the end. So I enjoyed it for what it was. My son loved it, so that's always a good thing. And my wife thought it was okay. Did you see this one, Tone?
No, I didn't. But your son enjoying it obviously is the most important part. I did read an article though by Matt Bolton that came out this week that he watched Fantastic Four and Superman back to back, and he says he's more worried than ever that there's really no way back for Marvel. That's in this article from his perspective. And reading it, I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but he kind of says that Fantastic Four is kind of like a period piece. It takes place a long time ago, where like Superman's more plays for today's times of what's going on out there in the real world. You know what I mean? Not to say that there's anything wrong with escaping in the Fantastic Four and what their
No,
story is.
and I would agree with that. Fantastic Four is set in like the 1950s, 60s, it looks like kind of era, which I kind of thought brought a lot of like a nostalgia to the series. I actually kind of like that part about it. Uh, just the visuals is what really got me in that part. But if I had to, I haven't even seen Superman. From what I'm hearing, Superman's probably the best movie of the year in terms of superheroes. From what I've been hearing, and you told me you raved about it. I've heard other people rave about it. So I wouldn't say Fantastic Four is the best movie, but I did enjoy it.
And
It was
that's
enjoyable.
that's what's important. And honestly, from everything I've read and looked at, I mean, it looks like, again, this is kind of where I fit in the, if I saw Superman, I try to get a little bit of, I mean, Naked Gun, when I was thinking about it, I don't remember the last time I've seen a comedy at the movie theater. Maybe it was, what's the one with John Cena, Blockers, maybe? I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen a straight up comedy at the movie theater. So, so I seen Superman. So Fantastic Four wasn't something if I had a son, I'm sure I would have ran to go see it. So like, it's awesome that, you know, you saw it and you thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, Sam Reeves says Superman was the best comic book movie I've ever seen. It was so good. Ooh.
I guess another thing is pretty much too, is like in this article pretty much says is like, it's kind of sad that Marvel has to almost reinvent itself after putting out so many movies. You know what I mean? Like, you'd think at this point they should have that because if they're not, it's kind of like Subway when they're like, now we got real chicken. Then what were you selling the people in the past 10 movies that sucked?
I think it's a good thing that you got to reinvent yourself, because sometimes
not when you sold the last 10 movies to the crowd.
well, I mean, they made money though. But they made money though. I mean,
but that's what I mean. You trick your audience. That's the main thing.
To a degree. I mean, the way I look at it is,
how do you say that the last Fantastic Four movie sucks so bad?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if I pulled up the numbers here, I mean, it made some money that they didn't trick people because, well, it was bad.
Oh, I thought you meant like in terms of Marvel reinventing itself after all the
well, that too. I mean, you could just say it all in general, like just.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to do that. I mean, there was a horrible Spider-Man movie before the one that Sam Raimi came out with. I mean, it's gonna happen.
Well,
look at. I mean, to be honest with you, Superman has always been treated very, very well in terms of the films. But like characters like Spider-Man have been treated bad. I mean,
what do you mean? There's more awful Superman movies than there are of any other superhero. Superman 3, 4, and 5 stink.
Let's talk about Superman 3 is awesome.
Awesome. It's got awful reviews. I mean, never mind.
It's better
I mean, that's what I mean. I mean, it doesn't though. Like, as far as like ranking in superhero movies, not as far as cheesy and being pretty good. The one Richard Pryor is not a good Superman movie.
Oh, dude, Richard Pryor, come on. Marvel's going to reboot after Avengers: Secret Wars, allegedly. Yeah, that's supposedly what Kevin Feige said, that they're going to reboot after Secret Wars, which they need to. We'll get to Marvel a little bit more in a second, but another movie I watched, which is a horror film, because I've been doing research for the 31 Days of Horror, so I've been watching a lot more horror films. I usually do it during the summer. Is Last Shift. It's a B film that I watched. Looked very interesting from the trailer. It's basically set of a rookie cop who does a last shift at a police station that's about to be closed down. They have a new police station. She's just basically there waiting for the they have evidence that's like chemicals, nothing that needs to be picked up by a waste team, and she has to stay there for the night. And it's all this weird stuff just starts happening as it's being haunted. We find out about her life and like stuff like that. There's a cult involved in it too. I watched this film and I had really high expectations for the trailer going in. Even though it's a B film, I thought, oh man, it's gonna be enjoyable. But man, it had a lot of stupid shit going on. It didn't make any sense. And I know in horror movies, some stuff is supposed to make sense, but like stuff like there's some bum she arrests in there, and she throws him in the holding cell in the police station she's in, which is she's the only person in there. He goes in the holding cell, she handcuffs him, puts him in there, and she doesn't notify the working police station that's up and running that, hey, I have a inmate here, which you think that she would, so they can come get him since this police station is being closed in the morning. Makes no sense to me, but It is what it is. I give it if I had to go on a scale of 10, I give it a 5. It was not horrible, but wasn't great either. Does have some good jump scares though. I would say that. Have you seen this one, Tom?
No, I have not. But this looks like a lot of the movies that I see like at like disc replay that just like
Yeah, I definitely would have picked it up at this replay if it was there. I actually
I have
watched
a
it
rule,
on
a personal
Shudder.
rule I've never shared with you. I don't really sit and watch movies unless I recognize the name of an actor in it. I mean,
No.
because most of those movies are all rated under 5.0 or below. Like, and generally that's the truth. Unless you're talking about a foreign film, and then that's something different. But I'm talking about Last Shift isn't going to be a good movie. I could have told you that before. But just based upon word of mouth, that could be one word. You know what I mean? Like you pick up, like we talk about all the time. You're on horror things all the time. So you would see this movie. Wouldn't you have heard somebody suggest it?
I've heard somebody say it was good. I've seen mixed reviews about it, which is why I got into it. In the horror genre, I think it's kind of different in terms of ratings because some movies that you would think would be bad are actually pretty good, like with unknown actors. The Last Broadcast, for instance, doesn't have any known actors, and that's a very good movie. Blair Witch Project, the original, didn't have any. I mean, you could toss that up to how you feel about it, but that one had pretty decent reviews going into it. So I mean, it depends. It just
I named
depends.
4 movies here. I mean, you're gonna have to give me a lot more than that, but we'll do that off camera.
What do you mean a lot more than that? I just gave you 2 movies off the top of my head.
You just that's what I mean though, but like that doesn't I'm talking about you go to disc replay. There's a wall of horror movies, my man. I'll pick up 20 of them and you never heard of them. And you know why you never heard of them? Because some guys who got about $500,000 decided to make the movie. And
Did you not watch Monster Vision on TNT with Joe Bob Briggs?
Again, what are we watching the movies for different reasons? You know what I mean? Like these aren't like you can't tell me Last Shift and Lost Boys are in the same horror. Like if you're playing
you're comparing but you watch it for a love of horror.
Well, I like good horror. Like I don't like watch horror for horror.
How do you know what's good if you don't deep into?
It's like what
that you might not know?
I don't want to say this. You know, and I got a good joke. I'll tell you later, but I don't want to say it online because I don't want people to think I'm dirty. But again, it's that you could talk about other films, dirty movies. Okay, let's go there. That's where I wanted to go.
I
you watch dirty movies. Watch them, or do you watch them because you have a certain preference? Yeah, there you go. It's the same thing with horror movies. Like if you want a good horror movie, you're watching a good horror.
That doesn't make any damn sense. I'm not gonna get off to a damn horror movie.
But you're not going to get off to animals and women either. Maybe you will. I don't know. But that's
no,
what I mean.
I'm not.
But that's but that's what my point is.
Totally, the argument you're making makes no sense.
Here we go again. Horror movies. You're saying if it's a horror movie, you're going to watch it no matter what. See, I'm saying by that same logic, if it's a porno, you'll watch it no matter what.
You're not. No, you did not listen to what I said. Your first argument was you said I don't watch horror movies unless they have a recognizable actor in it.
Oh, I didn't say horror movies. I said movies in general.
Okay, I said
movies in general besides foreign movies.
I don't do that because if it's a horror movie and I don't know anybody in it,
let me put it to you this way: you have a list of movies that you've told me that you haven't seen, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I have a list. So my list would definitely, I would make sure I'd seen all the movies of like that people, if we talked about them on the show, would know.
Okay.
So let's start there. And we don't have enough time to watch. I don't have enough time to watch the last, if I was into horror movies, I need to make sure that they're going to be horror movies I'm going to enjoy. It's the same thing with comedies. I just told you blew right past it. I haven't seen a comedy at the movie theater since Blockers. When was that? 2018?
Yeah, but
so again, Naked Gun, you should have, as someone interviewing me would be like, so seeing this movie should be pretty important to you because you haven't seen a comedy for 7 minutes. Back to the horror movies,
but also you
will watch any because you're doing the 30 for 30,
yeah,
which I appreciate it. But even the 30 for 30, I bet I can go and be like, you haven't seen these ones that have these people in it.
I'm sure you will, and that's why there's over thousands of them
about doing this. That's why I love even talking about this with you. I love these open debates. That's what makes the show great.
No,
should we just agree? You like just agree?
I'm not going to agree with you. Okay, I can agree. I hate you, Tony. No, you got me off thought now. God damn it!
Well, then I'm not off thought. Throw anything my way.
Okay. I forgot what I was going to say now. Okay, anyway. In terms of the horror film, I have to watch what I have to watch because I like to see if there's a hidden gem there for the 31 days. Will this one make the thing? Probably not. But I have found some good films that most people haven't heard of.
But you have, and that's why you share them. But like, to be fair, let's even expand a little bit more. You have already admitted you really don't like watching biography movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorites. You probably don't watch a lot of like romantic thrillers. That's one of my favorites. So like I am expanding in such a huge territory that if I'm going into horror, I can't waste my time on something unless you tell me it's good. I've heard it's good, but I'm not going to just go up to a random shelf and I see a movie and I just see the title and be like, well, I'm going to watch this. Because to me, in the horror genre, just like all my genres, I have to make sure it's going to be something I'm going to enjoy. Not that you tell me it's good. Like if you went Last Shift's great, I would have watched it. I mean, Christ, I watched Beyond the Law and I love that movie and you shared it with me.
But it's not. See, it's not like I could go up and. First of all, the cover does kind of get me. But if I read the story, the trailer looks good, then I go into it. That's for any movie.
That's how horror movies are different than other movies, right?
To not really. I mean, I do it for any movie. That's how I found Beyond the Law.
So, like, back to the comedy genre that we're going to talk about here in a couple minutes. What are like? Have there been these great comedies in the last couple of years, off the top of your head?
That I can think of.
It's tough.
No,
because and generally, honestly, it's these movies that we're going to talk about tonight. Like your first pick, and these are great movies. You know what I mean? These are great comedies at the movie theater. I just guess comedies and horror for me are like that, where like I got to hear that they're good. So when you share good movies, which all of your 30 for 30, everyone I haven't seen that I watched, like I was so scared to watch the Exorcist 3 until I watched your video. And then I watched The Exorcist 3, and then I'm like, well, I didn't have to be this scared, I guess, to watch it. So it's you seeing it and telling me also helps. Like,
so you prefer somebody watch it,
especially when it comes to a movie that I don't know anyone in it. Like if like Thanksgiving came out, I wanted to see that movie because I love that genre. 28, the movie that just came out 28 years later, I wanted to see it because Danny Boyle and that. You know what I mean? The movie next week, the movie of my year is coming out next weekend, Weapons. I love Barbarian. I love the way it looks. Like these are Final Destination, one of my favorite series. That's kind of how I am with horror movies. Last Shift, when you sent it to me, I looked up the picture. I was like, I hope if it's awesome, I'll watch it. But it also looks to me like it's either going to be really good or really not good. So it was sometimes for me. And sometimes it could be in the middle too. And if it's in the middle, I like just really good horror movies, I guess. With horror and comedy, they gotta be echelon for me, but spoiled that way. You could say that. There you go.
Definitely spoiled. Definitely. Okay. We got somewhere with that.
There we go.
But that's what we've been watching this week. Let's know what you've been watching over at the Other Show Pod on Twitters or in the YouTube comments. Sam says he only watches movies if he's heard of the Sound Engineer. It's a good thing to do, Tam. Speaking of movies, Tone, I don't know if you've seen this, but Variety has released a ranking of every Marvel Cinematic Universe movie from worst to best. Can you guess what is number one? This includes series and film.
Captain America, Winter Soldier.
No.
What is it?
Avengers Endgame.
Oh, okay.
Is number one.
I could see that.
Captain America, Winter Soldier. Number 44 was Falcon and Winter Soldier, which was the series. Captain America Civil War was 13. Winter Soldier was number 5. The worst film, according to this, is Secret Invasion. Or worst thing is Secret Invasion. I looked at this ranking and like I disagree with some of this stuff. Like they have Iron Man 2 at number 48,
Should be higher.
and they have What If at 43, which I actually enjoyed those. Those are actually decent showing of films. They have Fantastic Four comes in at 37. Right above it is Black Widow and Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 is, in my opinion, worse than Fantastic Four.
The new one or the
Iron Man 3, the third one with the Mandarin.
worse than the newest Fantastic Four or the old one?
Yeah,
Which
worse
one?
than New Fantastic Four, the new one.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Iron Man 3 was bad.
Miss Marvel is actually ahead of those films.
So are you ready? Here we go. Here, I'm gonna go off kilter here. I'll fight for Miss Marvel. Is that the movie, right?
No, it's the series.
What's the one?
The Marvels.
No, the one with the girl. She was.
Yeah, the Marvels.
That wasn't the Marvels. That wasn't the one. It was
the Marvels. It was both all three girls.
No, it was just the one with the one girl. What was that movie called?
Oh, Captain Marvel?
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
Actually, Captain Marvel's I actually like that movie because
of the pretty good movie.
Because of the music, and it was awesome as well.
Yeah, the movie was not bad. Not a bad movie. But they kind of, that's where they kind of said the series started to go down. And I was like, actually, I enjoyed that one.
Captain Marvel was number 34. And Jack has a real good point here. She-Hulk was really good, in my opinion. I really like She-Hulk. I got a bad rap. Ranking the MCU is the lowest form of conversation. It's true. But it's just weird how Variety decided to release this. I guess because of the release of the Fantastic Four. I think we could come up with a better list. For somebody who doesn't like superhero movies, I think you could come up with a better list, Tone.
It's more of like, I guess I could agree with Sam in this regard, is that like, this isn't more, I much rather, go back to the debate about the horror movies on the shelf than Marvel movies are just like, some of them are really good. But like Jack, like I said, saying She-Hulk was a good show. That's only one of the shows I haven't tuned into, not because anyone said it was bad. I just haven't gotten time, but because he said it's pretty good. I'll tune into that one.
Have you watched WandaVision?
I liked WandaVision. Was good. WandaVision was good. I liked even the Falcon and the
yeah, that one's ranked really low. And actually, that one actually wasn't that bad.
Yeah, they knocked that one. But it's, again, if you're just looking for some escape, which I'm sure, like, honestly, I'm sure the Fantastic Four and Superman, these superhero movies, that's what you look for, a good escape. Sometimes I think people take it a little too seriously.
Hence the She-Hulk hate.
Well, the hate of anything, where even as you could see the hate of anything, even if you could burst a bubble in this Marvel universe, because everyone's got so many different opinions. I mean, watching online and just seeing the people knock either the Fantastic Four or Superman for their own mental gain is kind of silly, when there's some positive stuff in all of this. But again, to somebody like me who isn't a huge comic book fan, it also could be redundant. So you're looking for something a little bit new, and that's what WandaVision brought pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, it was something different in WandaVision. Agent Carter, I do not know, Jack. No, it's not on the list, Jack. It's not on the list. It didn't even make the list.
Is this like all like, is the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man's on here?
No, I think it's just
from like Iron Man on
Marvel Studios. It says, yeah, it doesn't really say. It doesn't have like this Tobey Maguire one, or it doesn't even have the other Fantastic Fours on there. I'm guessing it's just straight from Marvel Studios.
Now, have you watched the newest Captain America movie?
No, I have not. I heard mixed things about it.
Like, see, like, again, like being a guy who isn't into the comic books, but I was excited to see the Red Hulk. Like, I just want to see this person, this on the screen, and there wasn't enough of him. The movie was fine though. I mean, these movies all play like, it's arguing over, I think, semantics sometimes with these superhero movies, because why do you go to the movies in general? You know what I mean? Like, to be fair, I could say some negative things about the new Naked Gun movie. But as I think about it, you know, I don't want to be that anymore when I go to the movie theater. You go to escape, you go to have some fun, you go not to find all the negatives, you go to find the positives. So if you're going to the Marvel movies and you're trying to like pick out what's really bad, when these movies I think are meant to be exciting. But again, you have to rank things that you have this many of them. So I just don't like any ranking. Like Rolling Stone does rankings of guitar players, and you can get arguments over that. Rankings over Marvel movies will be even more because what is the top 5? Did you say the top 5? Did I miss that?
All right. The top 5 are: number 1 is Avengers Endgame. Number 2 is Black Panther, the original Black Panther.
Okay.
Number 3 is Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 4 is WandaVision, and number 5 is The Winter Soldier. And
That's
number
pretty
6
cool.
is X-Men 97.
That's pretty cool that what do you call that? That they put WandaVision that high. That's a pretty original plot.
Yes, that's why I
like
think I
that.
enjoyed it a
I like
lot. And it
I
was
like that.
something different.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I enjoyed it so much. Which I kind of think like Fantastic Four is something different. Just for a scenery alone, I liked it a lot. You know what? It reminds me. I don't know if you ever played what do you call Fallout or BioShock. Have you ever played those games?
I haven't, but I know the box. I know the gameplay. So
Yeah,
I
so
know,
it's kind of set in kind of like that 40s, 50s kind of era, kind of like with the commercials and whatnot. It's what it kind of reminds me of. And that's why I think I liked it. Why I enjoyed it. But that's our Marvel talk. There's nothing unless you have any other rumors or news you want to talk about.
Again, just to keep it, since we're talking Marvel real quick, they did announce today in the new Spider-Man movie coming out that Mark Ruffalo will be back as the Hulk in the movie, which is pretty cool because, like I said, I'm a big Hulk fan. Besides maybe, I don't know, you know, they say to go back and watch the Ang Lee one again. You know, I remember being at the movie theater and seeing it and, you know, being a little disappointed compared to Spider-Man. But
U of I grad.
But when you watch it though, again, and you watch it for those reasons, like we watched Spider-Man 3 for the amazing cheesiness of Richard Pryor. It's not bad when
Superman
you look
3?
yeah, when you look under the microscope of having a good time at the movie theater. So, and honestly, Nick Nolte, I mean, that's great. I mean, I'm a big Eric Bana fan, you know. I don't know.
I thought when I went to go see that film in theaters, I remember it was getting I was really, really excited. The Hulk was my brother's favorite. It's still my brother's favorite Marvel character. We went to go see it, and I thought it was just really, really long.
It was long.
It kind of dragged a little bit. Was it bad? No, but it was just kind of dragged a little bit more to my liking. But it was like one of the first like big Marvel films in my lifetime that came out, you know, besides the Spider-Man series. But it was like when the Hulk came out, you're like, oh shit, the Hulk's out. I actually enjoyed the Edward Norton one.
Yeah,
and to the horrible thing is that, you know, Marvel doesn't own the rights to the Hulk, so they can't do a standalone movie with Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, is that why they can't?
Yeah, that's why they're doing like he's always as a side character.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if I'll ever
in
get the rights
She-Hulk?
back.
Doesn't he show up like in the first episode or something?
He's in it. He's actually in a lot of She-Hulk.
Okay.
Because She-Hulk's the cousin of Bruce Banner.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Check that out.
But yeah, check it out. So that's our Marvel talk. You heard us argue about horror films. You want to do some back of the VHS box?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do some back of the VHS box here.
The back of the VHS box. The back of the VHS box. The back of the VHS box.
All right, my friend. Here we go. This is a film from the 2000s. An unplanned pregnancy leads a slacker and an indie music loving teen into awkward dinner conversations, orange Tic Tacs, and the most endearing depiction of teenage maturity in recent film history.
Juno?
Yep, that was a quick one. Quick guess.
I needed it, man. You gave it to me last week. I was thinking about today. I go, if I go down today, man, this is gonna be embarrassing.
Nice. That was a quick.
And honestly, if you just to let you know, if you're picking in the 2000s, it's a better chance to get me.
Oh, nice all over. But I went with comedy because it's a comedy film, and that
Yeah,
was
was good.
Juno.
And honestly, I've only seen that movie once or twice, but when I
Bleeper.
know the movie's huge on music, and it's you know,
It's got Scott Pilgrim in it.
sure does. He does a good job in it too.
Yeah, Michael Cera. Wow, that was a quick back of the VHS box. But I guess we can start going into you know what? Before we go into the films, just a heads up, if you guys are listening or watching, we would really appreciate it if you gave us a review over at your podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I don't know, there's what, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you just gave us a review, we're not gonna e-beg for 5-star reviews, but just give us a review just to get in the algorithm. The more reviews we get, the more our podcast can get listened to or shared, and we greatly appreciate that.
It's always awesome to just share your thoughts.
Yep, and I mean, we read them, we try to get better at them and stuff like that. So, and be sure to check out the Sadistic Penguin Studios shop. We just dropped a new shirt today, which is the Eat, Sleep, Squawk, and Repeat shirt. It's actually a pretty cool shirt tone that I am going to throw up in a second. It's one that I was thinking about for a while, like how like, because we always joke about this penguin cave we're gonna have or lair if we ever hit the lottery. And I always like, oh man, you know how they always say like eat, sleep, and pray or stuff like that. I'm like, man, we should do a shirt on eat, sleep, and something. And I was just thinking about it the other day before I was banging my head at work about something, and it just came to me: eat, sleep, and squawk, and repeat. So you can get it over at the Sadistic Penguin Studios shop or at sadisticpenguin.printify.me.
Very awesome. Very cool
Yeah.
shirt. You've already ordered some and they look really nice.
Yeah, they're really nice. I like the design. So be sure to check that out. We have stickers and all that good stuff. All the proceeds go to the show unless it's stated on the website, which is the ice shirts, which are only going to be out for another week. All those proceeds go to the National Immigration Justice Center. I will be pulling them off next Friday, so just a heads up. Besides that, Tone, do you want to get into these films, man?
Let's get into them.
All right, let's start off with our first film.
Wait a second, I think I see something in the back of the in the back of the closet. Check it out. Nope, coast is clear.
2001 Saving Silverman, directed by Dennis Dugan, who did Problem Child, Happy Gilmore, National Security, The Benchwarmers, that classic Jack and Jill, and Grown Ups 1 and 2. It stars Jason Briggs, Steve Zahn, Jack Black, Amanda Peet, Amanda Detmer, and R. Lee Emery. It had a budget of $22 million and a box office of $26 million. This film has Jack Black, Jason Biggs, who's from the American Pie fame, Steve Zahn, Amanda Peet, and R. Lee Emery, and not to mention Neil Diamond. What else can go wrong to crack you up? I saw this movie in high school, and I just loved it then. I thought the chemistry between all the castmates was great. R. Lee Emery is hilarious. I love when they do the Neil song at the end, or their obsession with Neil, which always cracked me up. Diamonds in the Rough, when they have the Indian guy singing to replace Jason Biggs, always cracked me up. A lot of funny moments in the film. It's probably like one of those rom-coms, I would say, that doesn't get enough love, man. What do you think about it?
It's a great movie, great comedy. Still remember seeing it with a group of friends. It was like right there at the end of high school, going into college. Steve Zahn, great in the movie. Steve Zahn's great in a lot of different roles. Jack Black, great. Jason Biggs, great. Amanda Peet, really great. I'm a big Amanda Peet fan, in everything from The Whole 9 Yards to this. Just a lot of laughs. There's one scene that even last week, before you even sent me your list, I always bring up, and it's the scene where he's like on his electric scooter and he like goes into the bushes and like flies over it or whatever. Just looks so ridiculous. And just the movie itself is just, again, that's what comedies are for. You're supposed to just loosen up and have a good time, and Saving Silverman Does a good job at that.
I mean, it takes somebody like Neil Diamond, who's I would say he's a folk singer, Tom. Would you say he's like a folky singer?
Folk
Like,
pop singer, yeah.
yeah, like not really to like the younger generation, not really known. I mean, that's something that their parents would listen to at the time. And it brought them into basically, their world and it made him cool. Like I thought it was like him when he's goes and sings at the wedding always cracked me up, or when he tells Jack Black, "You're the one who's been sending me the naked pictures." And you're like, dude, sorry. This or like, Neil, I want to party with you. Stuff like that. Always cracked me up. Just a great film.
Now, Neil, amazing in the movie. For some unknown reason, because the other day I was watching Full Metal Jacket was on Showtime. Arlie Ermy, for them to score him in this movie, he does a great job. The way that whole story ends at the end is hilarious. The movie is just it came out at a good time. It's just a good original comedy. I mean, 2001. I mean, we're talking what, 24 years ago now? I mean, and look, Jack Black, how far he's come since there. Look at all three of them and look, really, you know what I mean? But that's crazy. I always, off kilter real quick, I always thought it was crazy that Steve Zahn got offered the part of Walter White before Bryan Cranston turned it down. He kicks himself about that, obviously.
Wow, that's just ridiculous. When we were reading for the trivia for this, they were initially going to be obsessed with Paul Simon.
Oh, that would have been cool.
But then Dennis Duggan heard Neil Diamond on the radio, and the rest is soft rock history, which I thought was hilarious. How they kept. One of my favorite cameos in the film is actually Kyle Gass as the magician, and when he holds up the two rings to his eyes, he goes yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo. That always cracked me up when he does that. This is a really, really fun movie, man. I kind of wish this kind of spawned more Jason Biggs kind of like side comedies, but I think after Loser, he kind of just stuck with the American Pie stuff, and I can't remember anything else that he was like super in. Do you know besides American Pie and Loser and Jay and Silent Bob 2?
Oh, let's see here. Not really as far as like big movies like that, no.
Yeah, it's kind of sucks because I think he had some potential, man.
Yeah, definitely.
His quote in Jay and Silent Bob always cracks me up when he's like, nobody ever says, "Hey, I loved you in Loser. I loved you in Guys and Girls." A fucking pie, man. Which goes back to that pie. Yeah, that scene too, or when they arm wrestle for his house.
Oh, that's a great part.
He's like, "It's my grandma's buried out in the back there." And she's like, "I don't want your creepy ass house or your dead grandmother." that line always cracked me up too. There's just like a lot of fun little one-liners there. And yes, Sam, their outfits for the cover band are the best. The Diamond in the Rough. So if you haven't seen it, check out Saving Silverman if you can. You
Right
ready,
on.
my friend?
Let's go.
Okay, let's go on to one of your films here.
Move on! Nothing to see here! Please disperse! Nothing to see here, please!
The Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad, released in 1988. It's directed by David Zucker, who did Scary Movie 3, 4, and 5, My Boss's Daughter, Basketball, Top Secret, and Ruthless People. It stars Leslie Nielsen, Priscilla Presley, Ricardo Montalban, George Kennedy, and O.J. the Juice Simpson. And it's had a box office of $78 million and a budget of $14.5. Tell us why you picked this one.
Again, this is probably some of my favorite comedy. Is the spoof where you're trying to play it straight, but ridiculous stuff is you're doing it. The people around you are causing it. Leslie Nielsen, of course, I think just does such a great job in these movies. I could have picked 1, 2, or 3. I enjoy them all the same. And that's why even the new one, it plays like just like a fourth one. You know what I mean? Like you're watching these movies not to be like comparing them like you would like a Quentin Tarantino movie. These are just how funny are you laughing? Are you having a good time? I mean, the bad guy in these movies are great. You know what I mean? You got Ricardo Montalban in this one. Just does an awesome job. Wrath of Khan right there as a bad guy. The jokes though, and that's what's funny is before Airplane, Leslie Nielsen was a straight drama type actor. So to see him be able to branch out and do this, and honestly, I don't know if you've ever had an opportunity to watch the TV show, The Police Squad, which this is all based off of, which it's like this. It's not quite as spoofish, but there is comedy to it. There's just a lot of good sight gags in this movie. Like you see on the screen when he puts his hand in the tank and this crazy looking fish, grabs on. Just thought it was really cool. George Kennedy also does a great job as Leslie's partner. Just crazy to think about these movies and think about O.J. Simpson too, because like I had went to the movie theaters and saw 33rd and the third one, and then it was like a year later all that stuff went down. So he was definitely fresh in my mind, and they paid a ridiculous non-tribute to him in this new movie, which I thought was kind of funny because they could have just kind of like ignored it. But again, just a lot of jokes. Everyone is familiar with the baseball scene at the end. It is probably one of the most hilarious baseball scenes in movie history.
Yeah, with Reggie Jackson trying to kill the Queen.
Oh, kill the Queen.
Yeah, the Queen, man, trying to kill the Queen. Leslie Nielsen is somebody that when we talk comedy, he had a pretty big impact on it. You see, again with the spoof, but he was a classically trained actor, which he's mostly known for his comedy than he is his classically trained films, which is just to show his talent. One of my favorite films from him is actually Dracula Dead and Loving It, that he did later on. But Naked Gun, I mean, it's a classic, which made me kind of worried about when they came out with the new one. But after I saw the trailer, I figured it was going to be fine because of Liam Neeson and his dry sense of humor. But yeah.
Well, I did want to bring him up because I know you're not like the biggest fan, but when Seth MacFarlane gets involved to produce the movie, you know what I mean? Like you got to imagine he's somebody who respects comedy to the bit where it's going to be at least got to be decent enough. Like it's really hard to do Naked Gun. Like I can't believe even that I guess that's maybe why I wanted to see it too with my own eyes, because just that movie. I mean, let's think about the past spoof movies, vampires suck. I mean, that's a really, there's laughs in there, but that's a real mindless spoof type movie compared to like the Naked Gun. I mean, even in the new one, Danny Houston plays the bad guy and there's a murder plot. And in this movie, there's plot, you know what I mean? In some of the newer spoof movies, like the newer scary movies, it was like they're just standing in a room and stupid stuff's happening to them.
But you know what? I don't hate Seth MacFarlane. I just think I kind of got what people think about The Simpsons in terms of how like it kind of got worse as it went on. It's kind of like Family Guy. I think Family Guy kind of and The Simpsons is kind of getting worse. Like that point has been like at this point now. I think it's like kind of just ran their course.
I feel like and now this isn't. I'm just going to make a quick little statement, not a debate. I've watched like the last season of both of those shows and I laughed because it's back to the Marvel thing again. What are you doing, man? What are you doing comparing comedy? You're not supposed to be like comparing.
I'm not comparing it though. I'm just saying that
well, you're obviously not watching the new episodes either to the point where you are like in tune enough where is it bad or good? I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying there's good stuff there. It's like Metallica or the Chili. It's like any of your favorite artists. You're going to find the good stuff there. Is it as quality? Probably not. No. Just like the new Naked Gun, I wanted it to be just as good as the original. And you just can't.
It's not that. It's just saying that I was turned off as when I went to, I just didn't find it enjoyable anymore. I mean, for instance, I love Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
See, that's weird to me. That's like saying I don't find Big Trouble in Little China enjoyable anymore.
But Big Trouble in Little China doesn't change.
Well, neither does Family Guy. I mean,
Yeah,
and I'm talking since I will never forget being in junior year and looking at the kid next to me and saying, "You see that new comedy show with the talking baby, British baby?" I mean, and to the point where like Katie doesn't even like this stuff, but there are some gags in there that are like witty, just like Simpsons too. But again, when these shows get old, it's like Grey's Anatomy, but people are still tuning in. Grey's
I'm
Anatomy
sure
is
they
still
are.
a top show,
I just tuned out.
but that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Some
I mean,
it's like bands. Some people tune out of bands. Some people follow them forever.
yeah, that's just me. But none of my hates for Seth MacFarlane. That's just the way I kind of got tired of Family Guy. I love Ted, and I actually was interested in watching the Ted series. I don't know if that's any good.
Did you ever see the West movie he did?
Yeah, A Million Ways to Die in the West. Yeah,
There?
yeah, I like that.
There's a
I
laugh.
I like his Sting of Futurama. I liked he did Logan Lucky. That was okay.
Mhm, mhm.
He also did the
It's
Tooth
funny,
Fairy, which I don't think was a great movie.
Okay. Now we're making some good points tonight.
But yeah, it's nothing against him. But I mean, if you have a respect for the art, like this film or a genre like he seems to have, I wouldn't. It doesn't surprise me that he would hold it as close as he can to the the way the film was or the flair of the film.
Well, I mean, it's always going to be hard to get better than that original. You know what I mean? It's Leslie Nielsen is so great. You know what I mean? And I guess that's why Liam Neeson. I mean, did you happen to see the first Taken or any of the Takens at the theater or any of those?
Yeah, I saw the first two.
You just wouldn't have thought that he'd be this guy. But that's what's funny about it. And that's why I think it's witty. And I think that's what made Leslie Nielsen great, because it wasn't like he was a man, in comedy. And that's why I think if, like, let's say me and you were to write a comedy movie, it's more funnier to imagine somebody who's not in comedy doing something funny and people will laugh than your same old Will Ferrell show.
Yeah, and I think he kind of displayed that a little bit in Ted 2. He does the little cameo where he goes and picks up the cereal. And that's another fact, Seth MacFarlane's vehicle. So I'm pretty sure he guided him to recommending him to do this one, the new one. But yeah, back to the original classic, total classic. Like Jack says, so many one-liners. Leslie Nielsen, this is one of the first things besides Creepshow I saw him in. I saw him in Creepshow, and then I saw him in this, and I was like, what the hell is the same person? Because in Creepshow, he's like a psychopath killer. He's a mad dog killer.
Harry, hold your breath.
Yeah. And in this film, he's just wacky. But yeah, Little Johnny is his name, the guy he gets information from. In the Police Squad series, I remember that they would give him $20, and everybody would get information from him. He knew every damn thing. But it's awesome that spawned this film, and this film spawned all the Naked Gun films.
Cool.
But let's move on, my friend, to our next film, which is.
Get it, man. What's going on?
Would you like me to fucking bend over for you right now?
No, man. This is why I don't go out of the house. I thought everybody loved you.
2009's Funny People, directed by Judd Apatow, who did Trainwreck, Knocked Up, This Is 40, and The 40-Year-Old Virgin. It stars Adam Sandler, Seth Rogen, Leslie Mann, Eric Bana, Jonah Hill, Jason Schwartzman, and Aubrey Plaza. At a budget of $75 million and a box office of $71 million. This is one of my picks. It's a film that, like Sam says, is underrated to me because it doesn't get mentioned a lot. It's kind of plays that it's kind of like a comedy drama, which I think it is a comedy drama. It has a serious backstory, but it's based around comedians. Probably one of my favorite openings of any film is the opening of this film, where it shows Judd Apatow and Adam Sandler just making prank phone calls when they did in college. When he calls the people about the meatloaf, but the first thing he says is, "Hello, can I please speak to the manager? I have no legs." Like just that line makes no sense, but it just cracks me up. Like why? Because it's vintage Sandler, and this film has a bunch of like one-liners. It has a great cast. Baba Booyah when they with the Chinese, when he's teaching the kids Chinese. Aubrey Plaza's awesome in it. Jason Schwartzman with his horrible Yo Coach show, and Seth Rogen working at like the deli in the supermarket. Just great stuff. And then you got Randy with Aziz. He has Randy. It's just like a lot of good comedy stuff in here. It's loosely based on The Great Gatsby, from what I heard, but I don't know how loose that is. But I really, really enjoyed it a lot. What do you think about this film, Tom?
Very good movie. As you stated, I like so many movies. I like different styles of movies. I like the movies where they're playing with your tears and they're playing with your comedy. Like, you get everything of it. But that's definitely very cool. But
Yeah. This film that does play with your tears. I love the character of Merman that he plays, which is a total ripoff of every other movie he's ever done as Sandler. I like when Sandler can pull at your heartstrings and make you laugh, and he does a great job in this film. Real great job in this film. Jonah Hill is a complete jagoff in this film, but I do like the fact he does that video with the cats. That always cracked me up. But yeah, just a great film that doesn't get talked about enough. A lot of cameos in it. A lot of cameos.
I mean, Sandler's great. Like I said last week, I watched Happy Gilmore 2, and honestly, in my review, because I watched it again with Katie, I was a little harsh because, again, it's like I said with comedy, like just seeing Eminem in that part. Eminem's great in the new Happy Gilmore. He's hilarious. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's good with Sandler. If you've seen, Punch Drunk Love, this movie, I really enjoyed Spanglish. These are really, really great, examples.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a great film. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's got some serious stuff in it and a lot of comedy to go along with it, my man.
Just very, very interesting.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That comment just threw me off.
Oh, no, I don't know. Fuck that.
Yeah,
never heard of this person in my life.
Apparently he knows you. But let's move on to our next film, my friend.
I think you're all fucked in the head. We're 10 hours from the fucking fun park and you want to bail out. Well, I'll tell you something. This is no longer a vacation. It's a quest.
1983's National Lampoon's Vacation. Directed by Harold Ramis, who did Groundhog Day, Bedazzled, Analyze This, and Caddyshack. It stars Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, Imogen Coca, Anthony Michael Hall, Randy Quaid, and Dana Barron. It had a budget of $15 million and a box office of $61 million. Tone, tell us why you picked this one.
Before I continue, you ever do stand-up comedy before, or stand on a stage in front of people?
I stood on a stage in front of people, not for comedy, though.
Like heckling or anything like that. I mean, what are you going to do? Stop everything that you do and make address the people who say the things, and even if you don't even know who they are, you know what I mean?
No, I thought that was your friend.
I don't know who that is. They just banned him.
I was
just got banned. Honestly, you're treating it as a joke. I'm treating it as though who's this weirdo in our comments making this thing. I mean, if he was my friend, because he's not there anymore, he's banned. And he called me Mr. Burt. Who calls me Mr. Burt? Do your friends call you Mr. whatever in the chat room?
Sometimes.
Pay attention.
Sometimes.
Okay, back to National Lampoon's Vacation. Again, the same reason why I enjoy the Naked Gun movies. I love this type of comedy. This is like, I remember the first time I saw this movie. It's hilarious. The National Lampoon series in general. I was going to pick maybe Animal House or anything else, but I went with this one. Even the remake is a good one.
The remake of National Lampoon?
Yeah, the one with Ed Helms.
Oh, okay.
Vacation.
What was the one? Gold Diggers, National Lampoon's Gold Diggers with Will Friedle and Sherman, the Shermanator.
Yes.
This is a all-time classic. This is the film that spawned all the vacation films and then the Christmas film. I actually really like Vegas Vacation. I know people give it a bad rap, but I actually like that one as well.
It's
The Griswolds have become like America's family, in my opinion. Uh, John Hughes wrote this. He based his script on a trip to Disneyland in his childhood. You have Randy Quaid as cousin Eddie. His first appearance. Just a lot of good stuff in here. You know, uh, I loved Chevy Chase until I found out how big of an a-hole he was.
Yeah, he's a big a-hole in real life. It's
Yeah,
funny in this though, ridiculous in this, but still a big a-hole in real life.
yeah. But I enjoyed the film. I mean, when you mention the Griswolds, everybody's gonna know which they always most likely go to the Christmas. Is it Christmas Vacation?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Christmas
Christmas Vacation. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds was in Van Wilder. That's another.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, National. Someone was asking us about if Ryan Reynolds. My wife was asking.
No, I was trying to think of if there was a vacation with him, but then you helped me by saying Van Wilder.
Yeah, John Candy was paid $1 million for his appearance at the end. Getting that money, John Candy.
Great, classic, ridiculous cameo there at the end.
And 100 episodes. We're not 100 episodes yet. Not yet.
I think she read the comment at the beginning when he said he was the 100th.
Oh,
At the beginning, like he was the 100th person seeing our show today. Because I also was like, oh, it's not the 100th. But then when I read through the comments again, unless she didn't read it that way, and
I don't know.
Thinking
She just got home from work. She's been working very, very hard.
Oh, welcome home, Jen. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes, thank you. The original ending featured the Griswolds holding Roy Whaley's hostage at his home, but that original ending is lost to the public, and apparently Chevy Chase has a tape of it. You think he'll ever release it?
Chevy Chase has. I don't know. Harold Ramis. Again, the fun they must have had directing this movie. At the end, I love the pictures. It's just like all the pictures of all the things that they did on the vacation or whatever that they play during the credits. Release the tapes.
Yeah. Harold Ramis, man, I wish he was still around, man. Harold Ramis is a comedic genius, man. I mean, Ghostbusters, this, Groundhog Day, just an awesome comedian. Very dry kind of sense of humor too, which I really, really enjoy. But yeah, this film, like I said, made the Griswolds a household name. They were doing Super Bowl commercials later on, with these characters. You got bigger stars appearing. Wayne Newton was in the last one. I mean, it's like, even though the kids got changed all the time, I think the next one had Johnny Galecki and what's her name, Juliette Lewis, right? When next to
the third one did the Christmas Vacation. Yes.
Yeah. The kids just kept getting changed, but you had Anthony Michael Hall, who went on to do The Breakfast Club, and then he eventually killed Michael Myers, and then got killed by Michael Myers.
It's pretty interesting when you think about it. It's pretty creative to have a family and be like keep switching like the children, like, and keep it still like, oh, the family's the same, but the kids are technically the same, but they're just young still. It's funny.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta keep continuity, I guess, in some way.
That's true. They don't do that too much anymore.
No, but these are like family movies that I remember are comedies that I watched like with my family because they're just goofy. Chevy Chase, for all his
Aubrey Plaza, I was watching this movie To-Do List the other day, and that's what gave me the comedy idea. But like, she's playing somebody in high school, and she's clearly 9 years older than her high school friends. Like, so like, the continuity, and I know why they do that because she's the lead actress. But when your side characters can be like, if they brought Anthony Michael Hall back for like the Christmas Vacation, it would be like him and Johnny Be Good with Robert Downey Jr. with a deep voice. Yeah, there we go. It's a classic line right here.
I'm so hungry I could eat a sandwich from a gas station.
It's great.
Yeah, just the fact that this film just spawned sequels, it kind of launched Chevy Chase even his career more, and then he went on to go do Fletch and other films. For all his flaws, he's a comedic genius too. Chevy Chase really is. I really enjoy his films, to be honest with you. Fletch is one of my favorites. But definitely, if you haven't seen National Lampoon's Vacation, check it out. If you want to start with the National Lampoon series, start with the Vacation. With the Vacation movies, I'm saying, if you want to start with that, start with the first one. And then, of course, if you want to, my first National Lampoon, I would say it would be Animal House. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, Animal House is equally as quality as this one. I was going to go with Animal House, but I just decided to go this route. But both are great. A lot of people, though, when Van Wilder came out, that was, I remember in college, that was a big college DVD. Like, you went into everybody's dorm rooms and everybody had a copy of Van
Well, it's
Wilder.
based off Burt Kreischer, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, because he did that at Florida.
But back to you brought up Randy Quaid or whatnot, ridiculous Randy Quaid, just who he is now. Pretty much turned into the character in Independence Day, like a worse real life version.
Do you know what Randy Quaid is going to do now?
I don't know. I don't.
Oh man, we got a bot for another bot. But
we got a lot of people here tonight.
Yeah, Randy Quaid is going to be in the new Roseanne Barr comedy. He's going to play her husband.
Wow.
He released a statement saying he can't wait to play her husband.
I don't like that's another subject I could go off on, are like these comedians who are like, we're being silenced. We're not getting to share our right-wing thoughts. It's so stupid because, again, comedy has always been like, Johnny Carson pretty much told it right down the middle. You know what I mean? If you were smart and you told it right down the middle instead of being a weirdo on either side, you'd probably sell a lot more tickets, but whatever.
Carlin sold a lot of tickets.
Who did?
Carlin.
Well, yeah, he was right down the middle.
Yes, sir. Van Wilder is based off Kirshner's Rolling Stone story. So we are correct by Sam. Thank you, Sam. Sam Reeves giving us the juicy gossip and details there. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, check out National Lampoon's Vacation. It's a classic and it's totally worth your time. Ready to get into the next one, my friend?
Let's do it.
What I tell you? All right, motherfucker, this the deal. Mama, ho, mama, I ain't know it was you. Mama, I ain't know it was you.
1997's Money Talks, directed by Brett Ratner, who also did Red Dragon, Hercules, Tower Heist, Rush Hours 1, 2, and 3, and X-Men Last Stand. It stars Chris Tucker, Charlie Sheen, Heather Locklear, Larry Hankin, Paul Gleason, and Paul Sorvino, and a budget of $25 million and a box office of $48 million. I love this film because it's Chris Tucker when Chris Tucker used to swear a lot, which is his, he went from Friday to Dead Presidents to this film, and then he did the Rush Hours. And when the late 90s came, he became a born again Christian, and he basically changed like his whole act around. He doesn't swear anymore, really. But this is like vintage Chris Tucker from Comedy Def Jam that I loved. I thought his chemistry with Charlie Sheen was really good as playing kind of like the straight man, even though he wasn't really playing the straight man. It's just a ridiculous film. The whole point of him getting like escaping jail and fighting diamonds, and then you have a villain who's French. And then you have Paul Sorvino, who's like this rich Italian guy who thinks Chris Tucker's victim-owned son. Just a bunch of great stuff there that always cracked me up. And plus, Barry White is a big predominant thing in this film, which I always love too. What do you think about Money Talks, Tone?
I can remember when it was released. It was another big comedy for its time. This isn't like this was, it's a good time. Pretty much, aren't we running towards the end of Charlie Sheen's, besides his television show, but like his film run? Like, what do we got after this in the film department after Money Talks? You know what he did come out with, and it was a summer blockbuster, and people knocked it, but it's actually not bad. The Arrival.
You
ever see The Arrival?
Yeah, he was in Being John Malkovich.
Well, not he's like at the end for a second. I mean, like a starring vehicle like this.
Yeah,
You know,
and then
I mean, we're coming towards the end of his
the scary movies, I guess.
He's only in what, 3?
Yeah, he's in 3.
But is that
Yeah, Due Date. I'm looking at his filmography right now. Oh, he's in 5 too, apparently. Oh, he has himself. Oh, he did Machete Kills, which I did not. That was like a let out for me.
I'm talking. You're giving me like 3-second roles in these movies. I'm talking about in this movie. He's on the front box, and he's a prevalent figure. I'm going to pull it up here, because he was, he used to star in movies. You know what
Good
I mean?
Advice, man. He was a classic in Good Advice. I actually like that movie. It's not that bad.
I've never seen that one. I'll have to watch.
It's with Denise Richards and Angie Harmon.
But Scary Movie 3, I will say he is pretty funny in Scary Movie 3. I will give Sam that he's good in that.
But yeah, this is after, I guess he was winning. He was winning during this time.
He was winning.
But Paul Sorvino, I always love Paul Sorvino. The victim moan always cracks me up because he's like, "What the hell is a victim moan?" And that I never heard of victim moan until this film. So
you have to look up Carlos Estevez to find his catalog.
Maybe
that's why I'm not finding it. There we go.
One of my favorite scenes in the film that I found out was improvised is the Faison Love Chris Tucker scene when he's in jail telling his story about how he got arrested, and Faison Love's coming on to him. Apparently, like Faison Love was visiting the set that day, so they decided to use him in a scene. It took 70 takes for him to do that because they couldn't stop laughing. It was all improvised too, which I thought was pretty hilarious. But I just like another movie that doesn't mention a lot when you talk about comedy.
No, it doesn't. And honestly, when trying to find it too, to even rewatch it, I had to rent it on Prime. It wasn't streaming anywhere. It wasn't at anywhere. So put it out. Let these people see it.
Yes, check out Money Talks, yo. It's on Prime for, was it $3.99, Tone?
Yeah.
$3.99.
Worth it.
That's it's not even a beer at the park.
That's the way I look at things too. It's like if we were out at a bar, I'd be like, I got you. I buy you a couple beers. You go out, rent this movie, man. It's the same thing.
Definitely rent this film. But let's move on to your next film there, Tone.
Apes don't read philosophy.
Yes, they do, Otto. They just don't understand it.
1988's A Fish Called Wanda, directed by Charlie Crichton and John Cleese. Starring Kevin Kline, who won Best Supporting Actor for this role. Jamie Lee Curtis, Maria Aiken, Michael Palin, and John Cleese. It had a budget of $7.5 million and a box office of $62 million. Tell us why you picked this one.
This was a movie that for a long time I kind of didn't watch because I thought it was like, what is it? Like just the name.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "What? This isn't my comedy." I think I told myself this isn't my comedy, and it would be on TV. I just never watched it, and then it was like 10 years ago. Me and Katie watched it, and boy, did I laugh super hard! And I was really, 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 really pissed off because this is actually just as much my type of comedy as the other movies I mentioned. Kevin Kline is one of the funniest. Does a great job in this movie. Michael Palin does a great job in this movie too. The whole thing with Michael Palin stuttering, and then like Kevin Kline, like there's a scene where like Kevin Kline's like, "It's Ken coming to kill you," just like a lot of funny one-liners. That's pretty much, as Mailman Jack said, it's a lot of laughs, and then on top of you get John Cleese, but even on top of all that, you get the greatest Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, so you're getting like who's coming off of Trading Places, who's amazing in that, and you're saying to yourself, this is just a really funny movie.
Yeah, it actually really is. I did not see this until later. And I wish I would have watched this sooner. I actually didn't see this until maybe 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. Which I started going, I went through a Monty Python's kick, and I wanted to go watch all this stuff. They both directed the Monty. So slapstick comedy too, and a lot of to Mailman Jack's comment that says, "I was so high when I saw this at the myself. I almost soiled myself." Person who actually died out of his element, and I really like this film. It's a film that should be talked about more. A film that should be, when you talk about comedy, it should be one of the films that you have to see because it's something different uh, in that sense. And Kevin Kline, the only movie I know him from is when he was the president. Well, two movies: the president one, Dave, and the Wild Wild West. Which I'm pretty sure there's other films I know him from. I just have to,
Oh,
off the
you
top of
do,
my
you
head.
do. You ever see? He's pretty funny, and you ever see In and Out?
Okay, yeah, I've seen him in French Kiss. I saw him in too.
French Kiss. He's pretty good. He's actually the Big Chill. He's great in the Big Chill.
Mhm.
And obviously, I'll be honest with you. He's so smooth. He was able to marry Phoebe Cates.
Yeah, the Gremlin lady.
I wouldn't use her as the gremlin lady. I would more look like the girl who got out of the pool in Fast Times at
I know.
Ridgemont High,
Everybody,
the
everybody.
gremlin lady. The lady who went off the chair out the window. She's the gremlin lady. She's being the gremlin girl. We'll call her the gremlin girl. There we go.
When I was a kid, I don't know why, but Gremlins 2, I always laughed when she's wearing that ridiculous, that
Thing,
ridiculous thing hat, and then when she like says something and she mentions something to the the tour group and she does a little air quotes, it always made me laugh as a kid. I have no idea why. It wasn't even funny. Maybe because of the fact she looked ridiculous in that stupid hat. But that was the first thing I saw her in was Gremlins, and then of course I did experience the Fast Time at Ridgemont High. But yeah, this film though, excellent, great pick, Tone. I wasn't even thinking about this film, which I'm really happy you picked because I do like the fact that you pull out these little gems that I haven't heard in a while.
So we're gonna do so many shows in the road. We're just trying to fit things in the movies that we can just always talk about. I mean, a movie in a little while. I mean, I could have went with the first one, but I'm like, you know what? Let's talk the second one because you never know. We'll talk the first one another time. That's what's cool about this show. I love it.
Yeah, and this one's a classic, man. If you haven't seen this one, check this one out. Is this one actually on Prime, Tone?
This one I own and I watched my own copy, but I'll give you a thing here. It's let's see here. It is streaming currently on Tubi for free.
Cool. I see Pluto TV as well.
Pluto too. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so check out A Fish Called Wanda. Good film, man. Let's move on to our next film.
Don't forget, brother, you owe us 100. Yeah, here's one of them. Fuck you.
1987's Born in East LA, directed by the man himself, Cheech Marin, who also did Cheech and Chong, Get Out of My Room. It stars Cheech Marin, Daniel Stern, Paul Rodriguez, and Kamala Lopez. It had a box office of 17 million. This film is one of the most quotable films me and my brother talk about all the time. This is the first film that Cheech did when he and Tommy Chong broke up from Cheech and Chong. So this is the first film he did by solo. I always laugh at this film. The character of Feo just is hilarious to me. He's the character that you just saw in that clip. Tony Plana, who plays Feo, he goes into you heathen. I just the way he talks, you don't have to thank me, brother. You just have to pay me. Like that whole little scam he runs. Daniel Stern is awesome in this film as the white guy that gets him over. That Jimmy that just sets him up with these horrible schemes. There's a great quote in it where it's like he's walking down the street and there's this couple coming forward and he goes to talk to them, and the guy goes, "Don't touch me, I'm an American citizen." That part always cracks me up. Like it's typical Cheech Marin with the music in here. They do what was the name of their band? Rudy Huevos is their band. Then they have like the scene where he's trying to teach them twist and shout, and the guy's like, "La Baba." That's La Baba. Which I didn't know. The guy who says that is Daniel Valdez, the director of La Bamba. That's his brother.
Really?
Apparently, yeah. Apparently, when I looked up for trivia, that's what came up. But another part where he's when it gets raided by the La Migra, he goes, who's the president? You know, the guy who's in the Death Valley days. John Wayne. When it was actually Ronald Reagan. It's a great film. What do you think about this film, Tom?
Before I tell you, Tommy Chong is in the movie. Where is he in the movie?
No idea.
He plays the Jesus that's hanging over the phone.
Oh yeah, he does.
Paul
Yes.
Rodriguez keeps. Honestly, right here, I went to the library because you've been talking about this movie so much. It's been such a long time since I've seen it. I had to sit down and rewatch this and give it my total focus. And I love this movie, man. This movie, honestly. And I know you're gonna like maybe even look like I'm crazy. Like I love the ending of this movie a lot. Like a lot.
Oh, I do too.
Like I love it. Like I almost want to like tear up. Like I love the movie the ending of this movie. And what I really love too is doing some other research from it. I was reading an article, a little quote put together by Richard Pryor. And Richard Pryor said that when he heard that Cheech was going to do this movie, he really didn't think much about it. But when he sat down and he watched it, the movie really has an awesome meaning. And there's really a lot of awesome stuff, kind of like, as you said, going on in it that really is a smart way of a smart comedy. Like, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much, is because this isn't stupid comedy. This is smart comedy, and you got to be paying attention to some of the stuff. And I'll be also honest with you, it'd been such a long time since watching it. I did not know that Daniel Stern was in this movie. Great performance by Daniel Stern. Ridiculous. But just again, an overall, like, what the F situation. And the way Cheech plays it too, like, I mean, come on, man. You, me, anyone else, we'd be a lot more mad than him in this movie.
The part where he when he goes up to the border patrol's desk and he's like, Guadalupe Rudolfo Robles. Oh, you almost made it up to San Juan. You sure going to a lot of cities named after saints, huh? He's like aged 58 years old. He's like, what are you talking about? I don't look 58. He goes, I'm not 58 years old. That part cracks me up. This part when he has, the other than Mexican OTMs. It's kind of funny because the guy that is farthest to the right, the guy right next to him is Sal Lopez, who is is Mexican, which always cracked me up. He's in Price of Glory and a couple other shows. He's also in Selena. But he plays an Asian guy in this film. Doesn't have any lines except what's happening. Which I always was funny. He teaches him how to do the bandana. Hey, what's happening? And I think the ending, doesn't it have Coming to America by Neil Diamond as well when he did Run Down the Hill?
Yep.
Yeah. And another part too that always cracked me up was like the border patrol guy's like, oh, I'm gonna catch some Z's before he comes down here.
Well, that's what was funny about it, because he like sees him up there. And I even like we're trying to explain this to Katie, and she's just like staring at me. I'm like, the ending of this movie is great. Because like the guy's like, oh, I'm gonna catch some Z's, it'll be like 4 minutes until he gets down here. But like I didn't think that's what Cheech was gonna do, because like I said, it's been such a long time. And then it was like, let's go. It was awesome.
And then the other guy's like, holy shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just a great film.
I like the little relationship with him and the girl.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a good little touch to the movie too. I mean, what's great about, and I'm not saying this isn't good, but like I love my movies where you could think about it. You thinking at the end. He's sitting there, he's sitting on the truck, and Daniel Stern's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I did it for you, but he keeps complaining about giving the money or whatever. He's like, yeah, I did it for you, but he wanted 500. You can hear that guy's pissed, like he had to give the 500. But like that shows you again, like Cheech, and I honestly, I couldn't. I know you say this like, oh, I do the same thing, but how could you not? You know what I mean? Like, how could you not? Because Cheech was going to get back eventually, and look, he did get back. So
yeah, and Paul Rodriguez, we didn't really mention him a lot. He is phenomenal in this film. That's his cousin.
I like that. There's like this little side story going on with the cut. Like that's smart writing. Because he isn't really like he's in the story, but he's not like in the story. So like, and Paul Rodriguez is a guy that like you talk about me being 10 years old, turning on HBO, seeing stand-up specials. Paul Rodriguez is one of those guys. So like, again, I liked back in the day, and I know they still do it sometimes, but like in these comedy movies, even back into like National Lampoons, the latest comedians would get a little role here and there. And, and Cheech, was able to give that to Paul Rodriguez, which I thought was just awesome.
Yeah, and his son became a professional skateboarder. No, I like Paul Rodriguez's comedy. Million to One is one of my favorite films, but we talked about that one before. But yeah, just great all around work. Everything you expect from a Cheech and Chong film that doesn't have both of them in, besides the Jesus picture. And it's kind of started Cheech's solo career. I don't know, did he go on? Because Shrimp on the Barbie, I think, was right after this, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
And that's one of my all-time favorite Cheech Marin movies. Also, it's funny, most people don't know is Cheech didn't know how to speak Spanish until he got a lot older, which I thought was kind of cool. He learned, he always kind of faked it till he made it.
Now, wasn't Cheech, wasn't he born with a cleft lip?
Yes, he was. That's why he had the big mustache to cover it up.
Well, that, and I didn't realize that. I've never realized it until watching this movie that's why he's got the little part in the mustache that's missing over here, because of the cleft lip, which is so awesome. That shows you how much you're not paying attention to that stuff. Is that it took me 40, 30 years to see that. And Cheech is just such a great, which we'll continue here in a second, obviously, such a great comedian for a lot of different reasons. He is very, very influential to comedy, in my opinion, which we'll get to here in a couple minutes.
Yeah. Actually, let's just go straight into the next pick, my man. Here.
I sold 2 lids last night. How's that?
Oh, yeah? All right, Holmes. Who'd you sell them to?
Me.
Cheech and Chong's next movie, released in 1980, directed by Tommy Chong, who did Far Out Man. Cheech and Chong's the Korjian brothers, I think it's pronounced. Still Smoking, Nice Dreams, and Up in Smoke. It stars Cheech Marin, Tommy Chong, and Evelyn Guerrero. Had a box office of 41 mil. Tone, tell me about this one.
How I judge, especially when it comes to, let's say, the stoner comedy genre, is somebody like my wife, who is as sober as anyone I've ever met in my whole entire life. And she laughs, and she could laugh at this stuff, because a lot of times people will make these derogatory comments like, oh, you got to be stoned to watch this movie, or you got to be out of your mind to watch this movie. No, comedy is comedy. I mean, you're going to laugh at it. You'll just enhance maybe more, laugh harder if you're under the influence of booze or whatever. But to see this genre, I mean, you're looking at here with these two, Cheech and Chong, the beginning of that. I mean, Up in Smoke's great. But we've talked about it before with movies. I really, really enjoy when a movie is already it's already going, I guess. Up in Smoke, they didn't know each other at the beginning, so there's a 20-30 minute period where they got to introduce each other. This movie hits the ground running. I mean, this movie they are from the word go ready to really, honestly, get ridiculous. I mean, you're talking about a movie coming out, and to be fair, we're looking at just celebrated its 45th birthday just a week ago. Came out July 18th, 1980. Now, I'm imagining today I went and seen Naked Gun. It was funny. But now if I'm going in 1980, July 18th to see this movie, to me, it's it's got to be something that's out of this world, a different experience. From everyone that I've heard or talked to who is older, who's seen, these movies at the movie theater, that's pretty much what it was. I mean, this movie's got Paul Rubens in
his first movie.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff like I just mentioned in the last movie. Giving out these chances to up and comers in small, it doesn't have to be more than a minute or two, but memorable is important. Of course, I like Cheech and Chong together. I mean, of course, I think Cheech is the stronger of the two, but Chong without Cheech too. See what ends up happening in these movies is the more they go along, I think the shtick kind of wears thin a little bit. Even if they just came out with this brand new documentary with them two called Cheech and Chong's Last Movie. And there are parts in some of these, they got different views of how it all went down or how it happened, and they still do have these different views, and they're just not going to agree on it. You know what I mean? And I guess that's what's kind of cool about creating stuff too. You know what I mean? When you're creating things with people, you have to learn how to work together, even when some things aren't. And I mean, their creation, it's not like, I mean, they were together for well over 16, 17 years. I mean, Cheech is what, 8 years younger than Chong? You know what I mean?
Yeah, Tommy Chong's old.
Cheech is 79 and Chong is 87. So you know what I mean? And like, so imagine somebody 8 years younger than you, you know, staying on your couch with, you know, you, your wife, and Vinny, you know what I mean? And this guy's your comedy partner. You know, you think about that stuff. And honestly, that's why I enjoy these movies, because I think of a lot of the background, the mileage these guys put on. A lot of people watch them just to laugh and at some of the humor, because there is a lot of hilarious drug humor in these movies. But you know, it's all depends on what you're looking for. But Cheech always he generally nails his performances in most of the movies I've ever seen him in.
Yeah, he's actually a really, really good actor. To be honest with you, a comedic actor, of course, but you know, he kind of got once the Cheech and Chong films kind of went their way, and after his solo stuff went his way, he kind of got his he being the sidekick again, side gigs, doing like Tin Cup, he got hooked up with Robert Rodriguez, who cast him pretty much in all his movies in small roles. And then he was doing the TV shows, and then for Tommy Chong, you know, he started selling some marijuana, you know, bongs, got thrown in jail, which I think was ridiculous for selling bongs, but he got thrown in jail, and then he met the guy who did Wolf on Wall Street. He convinced him to write a book, and that's what became Wolf on Wall Street and became a movie. He also was excellent, kind of got a resurgence in that 70s show as Leo.
That's true.
You know, so his shtick played well in certain areas. Cheech kind of evolved. Tommy kind of stood into like the stoner stuff. But you know, I always remember Cheech and Chong stuff.
I was always blown away that Radon Chong was Cheech Chong's daughter, because like
Yeah.
I'd seen her in all these movies, and I think my dad or someone's like, "Yep, that's his daughter," and I just didn't see the connection between the two. You know what I mean? She was like this elegant woman, and then he was like Chong. You know what I mean? So, but that's how family works sometimes.
Yeah, totally does, man. It's crazy. You know, I wonder if he turns into a gargoyle too.
That's you. That whole James Remar is great in that one episode, man.
Yeah. For those who don't know what we're talking about, tell them what we're talking about.
Tales from the Dark Side. A great horror anthology movie. You know what I think also too in these movies is when they started all this. I mean, Cheech and Chong came out with some really awesome albums before they even did a movie. You know, it runs its course. I mean, the 80s were not the 70s. Okay. The 80s weren't, you know, the pot smoking decade. It wasn't, you know, there wasn't your stoner comedies. It's like, this is like this niche that's why I think Cheech, in all his greatness between the both of them, he knew he needed to branch out. And I think Born in East LA, I mean, when you look at a better way to branch out than Cheech and Chong, I mean, I think Born in East LA is a great first step.
So there's two things that stick out to me about this film, and they both involve Pee Wee Herman. The first is when he's complaining about their luggage, which Cheech Marin's hair is fucking ridiculous. It's like that, like dirty blonde or reddish.
Are you talking about his cousin? Because he plays two roles.
Yeah, he plays his cousin. Like,
Right.
he's like, oh, I gotta get my pack, yeah. But his hair is ridiculous in it. But Pee Wee does the I know you are, but what am I with Tommy Chong? And he's like, I'm gonna call the police. He's like, I'm gonna call the police, and Tommy Chong and him go at it. That's like my first thing of Pee Wee, you know, being Pee Wee, and then Tequila plays, and you know, of course, the Pee Wee Tequila song. But the other part that was funny was, since this is Pee Wee's first film, he actually appeared in another film in 1980 called The Blues Brothers. And when I was doing this, While filming the Blues Brothers on the same lot they did this film, Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi visited the set. Aykroyd ended up directing the scene where Chong urinates out a window. A visible hole was left in the shot. Intentionally, Aykroyd told audiences would assume it was Chong's penis.
Oh,
which I'm like, what? But the fact that Pee-wee was on in Blues Brothers as well as the maitre d' who tries to offer them champagne, and then he's in this film was kind of cool that they were actually on the same lot, which is kind of cool.
that is really cool.
The two women yelling "Help me, Wamba" during the movie shoot are played by Cassandra Peterson, who was Elvira, and Rita Wilson, the future wife of Tom Hanks and movie wife of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Jingle All the Way.
Very awesome.
But yeah, Cheech and Chong, they're in terms of like a big time Latino like comedian. I mean, there was Freddie Prinze with Chico and the Man, and then there was Cheech and Chong that I can remember. Like Tommy Chong's not Latino, but Cheech Marin is, and he was like one of the first Latino guys I can think of that really, it was like really cool to see somebody from a Mexican persuasion to be in comedy.
Yeah, and I mean, we're talking, possibly, influential top 10, definitely top 20. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? That's awesome.
Yeah, man. He's one of the trendsetters that got it going. Him and Tommy Chong, there's just that genre of pot humor. And then, I mean, it makes a revival. It comes back in small doses. But they're the ones that made that funny, which I thought was awesome.
Without them, there's no Half Baked. There's no Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
No.
You know what I mean? You get these because, but that's what makes it awesome. I mean, real cool.
Yep. So we're coming down to the final two, guys. The final two, everyone. We're going to go with our next film right now.
He holds a rifle above his head, captured in that moment just before he proceeded to beat the shit out of the National Guard private lying on the ground beneath him.
That scene always cracks me up. Smoke Signals, that film directed by Chris Iyer, who did Jim Thorpe, Lit by Lightning, Edge of America, Thief of Time, Skinwalkers, and Skins. It's starring Adam Beach, Evan Adams, Irene Bedard, Gary Farmer, and Tantu Cardinal. It had a budget of $2 million and a box office of $6.7 million. So if you guys don't know me, I really like watching a lot of Indigenous films. This film is actually the first Indigenous movie written, directed, and co-produced by a Native American or Native Americans. And I think that was really, really cool. This film is more of a comedy drama era. There are a lot of funny scenes. I think it's Adam Beach and Evan Adams are the two main characters. And I think Evan Adams steals the show with his storytelling and the way he looks as Thomas build a fire. Just a guy who his dad passed away, he walked out on them. It touches on a lot of Indigenous issues, especially alcoholism, that deal. But it kind of pulls at your heartstrings a lot with the story. I remember watching this film when it first came out in '98. My brother loves this film. It's always stuck with me. It's anytime chance I get to talk about it and let people know about it, I want them to know about it. It's listed as, the National Film Institute's top 100 movies of all time in terms of comedy. Also awesome film. Yes, Smoke Signals, Jack. Tell me you saw it, so tell me what you think about it.
I've seen it twice. And both the first time, 3 years ago, a coworker was like, knows I love movies. She just asked me if I've ever seen Smoke Signals, and I said no, I've never seen Smoke Signals. But as I said earlier, I always need to know somebody in the movie, and I knew Adam Beach. He's in I think he's in Wind Talkers. He's in Joe Dirt. So I was like, okay, I know Adam Beach. I'll watch this movie, and it's literally that simple, Yumper. So I go and I sit down and I watch the movie, and honestly, it left me stunned, just like a lot more than the end of Born in East LA. It was a great movie. But then this week I watched it for a second time, and it's even better the second time watching it. There's something about the movie. I can't put my finger on it. I don't. It's the same way I feel like a Stand By Me. There's something there that is like it makes you feel like I'm not saying like I don't even know how to explain it. Like it makes you feel like you want to be part of the story, like because these characters are so awesome in a way that isn't in movies really much anymore. I mean, this movie came out in 19. You got 88 here,
90,
but
98, 98.
1998, and it's like, whoa, it's good storytelling. And honestly, you're right about Evan Adams. The whole story, the whole background of the movie is definitely grabs at your heart. If there's any movies that I can maybe ever suggest, this is definitely going to be one just in second you to definitely check this movie out. It plays really good in that dramedy comedy type of, because you got to admit there are some comedy parts in Stand By Me too. So like that's what it is. And
Vern's like a whole walking joke.
Well, yeah, and this whole entire. I really like the story of Adam Beach's dad. You know what I mean? Like it's heartbreaking. You know what I mean? It's the whole thing is it makes you think. But you know what part I really love the most, and I don't have it here in front of me. I should, is that whole entire speech that Evan Adams gives at the end of the movie before it ends about father. Like that could hit home to anybody who has ever felt anything. And then the movie itself, and that's what's cool about movies too, is that yes, this movie is huge in indigenous people, but the overall plot is just so huge in humanity, and that's what makes it a great movie, I think, too.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, you had some really big people in here within not just the indigenous community, but also like film. For instance, Irene Bedard, who plays Susie Song, the girl that goes see that knows his dad. She is the actual person they use for the character of Pocahontas. She was the studio actress they brought in to draw her. Yeah,
Right.
she played She said she was Pocahontas' voice for Disney, and she actually played her grandmother, I believe, her grandmother or her mother in the live action. I can't remember, but she's actually like that. She was a person that they drew Pocahontas of her and her image. And then you have John Trudell, who is the guy who does the radio show. He's doing the radio show, like the news and whatnot. He's actually a really big person in Native circles because he was part of AIM, the American Indian movement. He has a big role in Thunderheart. He plays Jamie Looks twice, but he was a member of AIM he was actually president of AIM when Thunderheart, the scenes in Thunderheart, the backstory of Thunderheart takes place. He was actually involved in that, which is crazy that he was actually there for the Algala issues with the natives there, and the drilling and all that stuff. He was around that time, which is pretty crazy. So two big characters in there that play small roles but had really big impacts. And then my favorite character in this film, like I said, Evan Adams does a great job, but for his screen time though, it has to be Lester Falls Apart, who's on the broken down, I think it's a bus or truck, and he gives the traffic updates, and he's like, "Yeah, this cloud, it kind of looks like so and so." Ooh wee. Like, or I saw this car pass by, a yellow car, and they were arguing. And he's like, "I guess there's no traffic in Leicester." He goes, "Yeah, no, there's no way basically there's no traffic." Like, his stories are great, but just like subtle humor that's great with a lot of indigenous vibes to it. They talk about flatbread in here, which is a big cuisine with indigenous people. I just like that aspect of it. That you can see other different cultures and different stuff that you can experience that, and I thought it was done very, very well. And I can see why it's become such a big cult classic now. I highly recommend you see it if you haven't seen it. It's on free on Paramount Plus, which I rewatched it yesterday and today. I finished it today to just sort of as a rewatch because I haven't seen it in a little bit. But one of my favorite films that doesn't get mentioned a lot.
I think about this a lot. Like me and my mom are one way, and then my dad and my two sisters are a different way. Like my dad and my two sisters are the type of movie watchers who got like 6 or 7 favorite movies, and that's the only movies they watch. And they'll watch new movies, but me, I'm always looking to find something that makes me feel different, new, learn about something new. Like I much rather you were like, let's go to this place 30 minutes away and learn about indigenous people than go to the same game we went to 100 times, because I'm always about just trying to learn more. And this movie is great for in the film thing, is because you get to just the story. I don't want to give anything away, but the whole entire story is, because I think the second time I kind of like got the point almost that, like, I could be wrong, that like at the end, because Adam Evans keeps repeating like the same lines to Adam Beach, like, but says it with like a smile on his face, but I don't really think he's really smiling when he's saying what he's saying. And I think that's kind of like, I didn't really pick that up the first time, especially like at the end, because I think a lot of times Adam Beach was just, it was all about him going to meet his dad out there. But the reality is that, you know, Evan Adams, his character, lost his parents too. And that never really was ever really talked about too much. It was just talked about how his dad and this and that. But like Evan Adams was such a nice, open-hearted character that even when his dad talked to him on the bridge, Adam Beach's dad, it was still like, you know, he still wasn't a jerk. And I think that's kind of like what the story, and he gave his money to go on this trip, when the reality is if someone killed your parents, would you give the money to go see that person? Most people wouldn't. But
No, and I think I think he always knew that he was sorry for it. That's what.
Oh yeah.
And I think that, but I do like when he kind of gives him shit when they're driving back. You know, he's like, "You're always playing the victim." Like the way he goes off on him, it was. I love that change of character. How he just goes back at him. And then you have totally forgot that he's in the film. The driver of the drunk car. He's from Donnie Brasco. He's Sonny Red.
Yes,
He's
yes,
a complete asshole too in the film.
yes.
But he like Robert Miano as Bert Cicero. He starts like yelling at him, like, "Oh, look what you did!" I'm like, "What that complete like
Oh
jag
yeah,
off."
that's right on the side of the road at the end.
Yeah.
That guy was a jerk.
Yeah, but just a great film, and it moves along nicely.
Does.
I just think about this right now when he's like, "Hey, Vincent, I was an alternate on the 1984 Olympic gymnastics team." He does like a little cartwheel. I thought you were talking to that girl. That always cracked me up too. And Vincent's such an asshole in the film too, but you know why he is. But
This is another one where, like, one thing I'm enjoying a lot more movies. I did it today with The Naked Gun, and I was actually rewarded when everyone left. There was something after the credits. I really like listening to the music after the movie ends, because a lot of the times, if you're really sitting and thinking about the ending and then you hear the music, it can match up into this really nice 5-6 minutes where you're just thinking about what you just watched. And I'm not gonna lie, like I did that with this movie. I just sat there and like listened to the music after he gave that speech, and I thought about things pertaining to my own life, to other people's lives. And honestly, that is the key to a great movie, is when you can like find relation into it. Not only find relation, but find a way to kind of heal or move on into something that maybe you're struggling with. It's really good in that department.
yeah, I highly recommend it. If you have Paramount Plus, check it out. It's a free on Paramount Plus. I think it's also like $4 probably on Amazon Prime if you don't. But definitely check out Smoke Signals. A definitely underrated classic. Tone, you ready to get to your last film, my friend?
Let's do it.
One more word out of you and he gets it, all right? Come on. Why don't you two put your heads together and make an ass out of yourselves, huh?
1983's Easy Money, directed by James Signorelli, who did Police Academy 2, The First Assignment, and Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. It stars Ronnie Dangerfield, Joe Pesci, Gwendoline Fitzgerald, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Tom Doonan, Kenneth Ariza, and Azara, and Taylor Negron. Also has a box office of $29 million. For some reason, I couldn't find the budget for this one. But Tone, tell me about Easy Money.
I love I do this with her. I mean, I did it earlier. I don't like picking favorites, but for the sake of argument, sometimes I do, and not like I'm going to argue with you on this one, but for me, as Mailman Jack said here, this is to me Rodney's best movie. Nothing's. I love Caddyshack, and I really really love Back to School. But the reason I like Easy Money a little bit more is like I always like things that aren't as popular sometimes as the other things, and Easy Money isn't as popular of a role for him as Caddyshack and Back to School. Everyone knows those two roles, but you'll still find people out there who haven't really sat and watched Easy Money. And why do I love it even more? Our man Joe Pesci, man. I'll always remember when my father's told me about a Joe Pesci movie with Rodney Dangerfield, and my face was like, no, there ain't no fucking movie with Joe Pesci and Rodney Dangerfield. And then he sent me to Suncoast Video to find the cassette for this, and I found it, and man, there are some great lineup jokes in this movie. Really good jokes.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Brewster's Millions kind of black plot to this, you know. And from what I was reading, Dangerfield said this is probably his you know, most close to seeing his character is the most closest to the person that he is in real life, which I thought was hilarious. Most people don't know Joe Pesci actually started off as a comedian slash musician. You know, he's Little Joe in the band, and Little Joe can sing. That's what he started off as before he got into the you know, more serious roles of the Raging Bulls and the you know, Goodfellas and the mobster roles. And then he went into you know, Home Alone. That kind of showed off his stuff. And then he did the My Cousin Vinny. So he had those chops for it. I like this movie a lot. It's not my favorite Dangerfield. I like Back to School, but it's not really because they're both 1-1 to me. But Back to School takes a little bit edge for me is because of Burt Young, and because I love Burt Young as Paulie from Rocky, and I love him in Back to School as his driver. But
hold on, see, this is where I gotta play the devil's advocate. Do you like Rocky with Burt Young and Back to School with Burt Young, or do you like Pesci in Casino? And like, who are you? If you get to meet, who are you meeting, Pesci or Burt Young?
To be honest, you Burt Young probably.
See, at least if you would have said Pesci there, that's where they are. I would be like, why did you pick the Pesci? But see, Burt Young's amazing. Burt Young,
yeah, I really like Burt Young.
The way he crushes that the thing in Back to School, he's awesome. Burt Young's great.
Yeah, so that's probably the reason I like those films. But this one, it takes the cake in terms of great comedic timing. Pesci is awesome in it. One of my favorite parts is when he's putting together the bike and he rides it on Christmas and it just breaks off. The probably the most famous gift from this movie is when they're carrying a damn birthday cake that decides to get trashed up because they drive around in his damn plumbing truck. It's got so many great one-liners in it. Beef Loaf was a big fan of the neighbor and her assets. When he walks out, he can't, you know, he has to look and she's naked, basically topless. That always cracked me up. It's just typical great gags. A film that doesn't get mentioned a lot. Just a great film.
Very, very cool movie. You know, a lot of laughs, a lot of fun. Just really interesting in a lot of different ways. For Rodney Dangerfield, I mean, to play this role where he's pretty much, I like the mother-in-law, you know, I like the whole plot. You know, I'm not giving anything away. She dies, and to inherit the money, he needs to get healthy. You know what I mean? So, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and you know, Julio cracks me up.
Oh yeah,
Julio's great in the film. He's awesome. Taylor Negron, who of course will go out. He's in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He's in Last Boy Scouts.
He's great in that.
Hello. He's also in Angels in the Outfielder. Outfielder. Angels in the Outfield as what the hell is his name? Angels in the Outfield. Oh, he's the assistant in that film. Oh my goodness. He gets nachos. He sits on nachos in that film. Oh, David. He's David in Angels in the Outfield. Great, just all around great casting. Jennifer Jason Leigh, of course, last time's original about High, she plays his daughter. It's just a classic film, man. Like I can't talk it up enough. It's one of those films that I could just throw on and laugh. Like that still cracks me up, even though I know what's coming.
Excellent movie.
Mm-hmm. Excellent movie. So those are our 10 films of comedy this week. We hope you enjoyed it. Tone, any final thoughts on this one, man?
Went through a lot of classics, man. A lot of good movies, a lot of good stuff. I mean, that's the thing is that comedies there's so many different ways to make you laugh, and I think we covered a lot of different kinds. We got the spoof, we got the drama, so some drama mixed with some comedy. I mean, you picked some really good ones. I was really glad to talk about tonight.
Yes, sir. So thank you guys for listening to that top 10. I believe till next week is our big episode, right?
Is it?
I think it's 100 next week. This is episode
98.
20. This is episode 20 for the season.
Remember, the 4 that are on there are still the mini episodes. I think we're at 97 was when I counted this week.
Let's see. I'll make sure right now. Tell a story while I look this up.
Again, back to Taylor Negron, who plays in this movie and in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. His cousin is the lead singer for the rock band from the 60s and 70s, Three Dog Night, which is very interesting. That's always a connection in movies and such. But what also is crazy about Easy Money is that, I mean, when you think about it, Dangerfield only has, to me, 3 classic roles. You got Easy Money, you got Back to School, and you got Caddyshack. I mean, I wouldn't put Ladybugs in there, but
Ladybugs classic. All right, so Tone, this episode will be 103 altogether. This will be 103. So next week would be 100.
I'm pretty are you sure because I just counted them this week and that's not what I got.
Right now, I'm looking at episodes and it looks at the bottom. It says 102 episodes. This one hasn't been posted yet.
And we got 5 episodes. If you sit there and we have 97. There's 97 episodes. If it's at 102, so this was 98. This is our 98th episode. We got 2 more, and then it's 100.
No, it's 102 now.
Yes. Listen, -4 mini episodes.
Mhm.
That puts at 98. And then we did another episode where it was just a mini. It was a Friday, and it was a mini episode. But we talked about like the death of Gene Hackman.
Oh, okay, yeah. I get
So
it.
this,
5.
let's do some math. This would be 98.
No, you kept saying 4. It's 5 episodes actually then, because we have 4 mini shows and then Gene Hackman.
Well, you said you kept going 102, right? What's 102? What's 102 minus 5? Or 4?
Yes, it's 102 minus 5 is 97.
And what's 102 minus 4?
98.
None of them would put us at 100 next week.
Technically,
98 or 99.
This no, not counting this episode. It's 102
You said
right
next
now.
week is going to be our 100th episode.
Tony, right now it's 102. This is great for this. It's 102 on the
Yes.
Apple Podcast. Okay,
So what's 102 minus 5?
okay, but you said 102 minus 4, which is what you're
4 minus
confusing me.
4.
It's
You're
98.
saying next week is a 100th episode. It won't be our 100th episode. It'll be our 99th or 98th.
No, it would be our 90. It would be our 100th episode if we minus 4.
How could it be minus 4 if 98 would minus 102 minus 4 is 98?
Yes.
And what's 98 plus 1 next week would be 99.
No, 98 plus this episode tone is 99. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But it's
that's where you're confusing me because you kept saying 4, but it's 5 episodes. That's how I was getting. You're confusing me. And that you're like,
well, first of all, it's bad ethic to not get a 100th episode thing ready to go before just saying it at the end. But that's something different.
No. That's what I'm saying. I wanted to make sure it was not, because I was hoping it wasn't, because we haven't planned the fully out one out. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
all right. Anyway, you heard us argue about math. Fuck math. Tony, let's go into the Sugar Baggy's last pick of the week.
Sounds good.
Damn math. Where the hell are you, Tony?
You don't even got that ready and you're arguing about math?
You know what? No, I don't.
The Sugar Baggies soundtrack pick of the week.
All right, tonight we got Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, a soundtrack that came out in 1991, January 1st. It starts off with a track by Slaughter, Shout It Out. This whole entire soundtrack is a mixture of both like older late 80s rock, and then it kind of mixes into Faith No More doing The Perfect Crime, Primus doing Tommy the Cat, Megadeth, Go to Hell. Steve Vai is on a couple tracks on here, The Reaper and the Reaper Rap. One that I always remember is Kiss's God Gave Rock and Roll to You, which is always really cool song to jam out to. But it always remembers for me is that it is a soundtrack that my cousins would play a lot. And when you got cousins that would play stuff and like that, and makes it a little bit more memorable. I don't know if I would have really sat down and listened to the soundtrack unless they were the ones to play it, because they liked a lot more of some of that late 80s music than I did, including Slaughter. I remember them listening to that band. That's the band that starts the soundtrack off. But again, celebrating a huge, again, 34 years. It has been around 52 minutes. It also, I remember, it's selling some copies. It's crazy because Entertainment Weekly gave it a B+ when it came out, and said it was pretty close to being totally excellent.
Yeah, great. Actually, I really like this film too. Great film. Rock and roll made what's it? Rock and it's a Kiss song.
God Gave Rock and Roll
to you. Yeah, God Gave Rock and Roll to You. The Reaper, of course, the Reaper Rap, which is so horrible song, but I love it. You may be a king or a street sweeper, but everybody dances with the Reaper. Get down with your bad self. Steve Vai, excellent guitarist that not a lot of people know about. Great. If you want to see a great Steve Vai solo, look up the Steve Vai versus Ralph Macchio in this movie called Crossroads. Great. They just basically do a guitar off, and it's all written by Steve Vai. All the music that's played in there is written by him, so he's basically battling himself. But excellently done. Steve Vai is a magician with a guitar.
He is.
So great pick, my friend.
Thank you. Very awesome.
What the hell? I'm sorry. It's got marker all over my hand. I don't know from where. But that is our show. You heard us argue about math, about Marvel, and about horror movies. So I hope you enjoyed that. As our arithmetic could not go through our brains there. But we will be back next week, and then hopefully the next week after that will be our 100th episode if we did the math right. But Tone, anything else to add before we out of here, my friend? Let everybody know what's going on with the hookup and what's going on with the James Bond stuff, my friend.
Just dropped the James Bond episode this past Wednesday. We're going to be going live, switching back and forth. This Wednesday, the hookup on music is going to be going live. So we're just going to kind of switch back and forth. And it's going to be a good time. So please tune in.
Cool. With that, everyone, thank you so much for listening, watching, tweeting, and viewing. Watching and viewing go together, but you know what I mean. We're over the 2-hour mark, Cotton. Just for you. Oh, also, before we sign off, if you are in the area and you like the Wrigleyville, you're a Cubs fan, check out Ranter Fest. They're having Ranter Fest tomorrow on the north side. Unfortunately, I can't make it there tomorrow, but if you want to go attend Ranter Fest, they're having comedy show. They're going to be at the bar. Danny Rock is going to be performing. A lot of the Chicago Cubs Twitter will be there, but a lot of our friends will be there. Like Cotton will be there if you want to meet Cotton. and a lot of they have bands there, comedy acts, games, all this cool stuff. And they'll be watching the game between the Orioles tomorrow at the bar. All the proceeds from tickets go to the Lost Boys organization, which is a inner city youth organization that helps kids with from arts to sports. They buy the equipment. The guy who runs it is a huge Sox fan as well. So you got to help out the inner city youth if you can. Check it out at rancerfest.com. That should be your link to it. With that, though, everybody have a good night, and we will be seeing you next week.
Thanks for listening to the At the Show podcast, a Sadistic Penguin Studios production.
Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?